Good news is God is going to meet you wherever you go. When you come to a crossroads in your life and you have to pick a path, I heard that from someone one time. They said, the good news is, Lorianne, no matter which path you take, God is going to be there. And if you happen to take the wrong one and it's more of a detour than the correct path, he's going to get you back on the right path as soon as possible. Always stuck with me because it made me think, wow, okay, so I don't have to stay stuck in this over analytical loop that I get in my head, over analyzing things, waiting and waiting for my life to pass me by before I make a decision. Because I remember that because I think, whatever path I take, even though it might be the wrong one, I know God's going to lead me back. If you're tired of living in survival mode and questioning your worth and faith after divorce, and want simple steps to heal, drop that shame and guilt, and rebuild your confidence, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Lorianne, certified Christian life coach and midlife divorce mom of 2. I learned the secret of how to heal after divorce and rebuild my life through faith-based strategies that changed everything. And if you're ready to remember who you truly are, rediscover your purpose in midlife, love well again, and care for your body and soul, welcome to the club. You're in the right room. Hey friend, welcome back to the Midlife Comeback Club podcast. I am so grateful. I just want to say that you are here every single week. If you are coming back to listen to my episodes, I really appreciate it. Ever since we've launched the podcast, the feedback has been so incredible, and I just appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're new here, I'm Lorianne, a certified Christian life coach, and I welcome you to the podcast for the first time. Before we dive in to today's episode, I just want to ask, are you constantly second guessing yourself, but also maybe telling yourself, hey, I just need to trust God more? Yeah, we need to talk about that, because that exact tension between self-doubt and faith is something that I help women work through inside the Midlife Comeback Club coaching membership, which is my annual group coaching membership for midlife divorced Christian women, because you don't need to choose between confidence in yourself or confidence in God. You actually need both. So if you're tired of overthinking, every single decision you make and calling it being faithful, so to speak, the link's in the show notes. So please check it out and come join us. I would really love to have you in our membership. All right, so let's get into today's episode, because today we are talking about something that I see all the time with Christian women. And honestly, it's keeping so many women stuck and they don't even realize it. It's this idea that I shouldn't trust myself. I should only trust God. And if you think about it for a second, it sounds spiritual, right? It sounds kind of humble. It sounds like the quote unquote right answer. But, in real life, it looks more like this. You're constantly overthinking every single decision you make. You second guess yourself all the time. You feel paralyzed, like trying to hear God clearly. And you're afraid of making another mistake, right? You're afraid of making the next wrong move. And meanwhile, you're calling all of that faith. And I'm going to say something today to you that might really make you feel like a little uncomfortable. But that's not faith. That's fear dressed up in pretty spiritual language. And I really say that with love, because I have been there. I was that woman. I just want to go back and just tell you a little story here, okay? There was a time in my life when I could not make a decision to save my life. I was terrible at it. I mean, I'm talking full spiral mode, okay? Like standing in the grocery store aisle. I always reference the grocery store. I think I spend a large part of my life in the grocery store, even though I have said to myself that I promised myself I was going to start getting my groceries delivered and ordered online. I have tried it on and off, but it never seems to click for me for some reason with the grocery list and the kids and what the dog needs and what I need, what they need. It just never works out. So, anyway, but I found myself in the grocery store aisle once again for 10 minutes, trying to decide on the correct protein bar that I was going to buy. Yeah, protein bars, right? I never really ate protein bars until recently, over the last maybe 5 years. I never realized there were all of these different types of protein bars. There are so-called healthy protein bars, and then there are so-called more unhealthy protein bars. And I found myself just like turning this whole thing into like this spiritual crisis. I'd be like, okay, God, do I get the box with the total carbs at 10 or do I get it with the total carbs at 12? And then, oh, this box has 2 grams of fiber. So can I subtract that out and really make that 8 grams total for my carbohydrates? Or I don't remember what the exact calculation was from that podcast that I just watched the other day. But then this one has more sugar in it. So does that really subtract from the other part of it? And I was always not great at math, but this was like turning into a mathematical debacle in the middle of the grocery store. And I'm thinking, why am I spending my time calculating all of these little things, thinking it's going to make a huge difference? When in reality, it's probably about 1 gram or so up or down on the carbs either way. I don't think it was going to critically, knock my health out of whack. But there I was, saying, God, I just want to be in your will. I'm trying to take care of my temple, do a better job at my health. Which one do I get? I'm not too sure. And meanwhile, there are people behind me just trying to get to whatever their favorite protein powder is or bar or whatever they want to eat for the day. And there I am calculating, trying to look at these little letters on the outside of the boxes, trying to figure out what I need to do to not have that extra 1 gram of carbs that was going to throw my health into a crisis. It was craziness, right? And I kept thinking, what if I choose wrong? Or what if this is a test? That's a good one, right? What if God is trying to say to me that you really need to pick the right thing, Lorianne? If you want to show me that you're taking care of your temple. I mean, all these weird things go on in your head, right? You go into this complete spiral mode. And I had this lady come up to me behind me and she's just like, ma'am, they're all protein bars. Let's just put it this way. They might be a little better than going back there and selecting the bag of M&Ms, which I used to absolutely love, by the way. But whichever one you get, it's better than that. Just kind of think of it that way. But that's how it felt, like every decision I was making always felt so heavy. Like every choice felt loaded and every move felt like I could mess up God's overall plan for my life because I selected the wrong box of protein bars. But underneath all of that was not actually some great, deep spiritual maturity that I had. It was actually just a lack of trust in myself. It was the fear of getting it wrong, choosing the wrong protein bar that was going to send my health into a spiral. But meanwhile, for years, I spent many nights eating gallons of ice cream and M&Ms. I didn't seem too worried about it then, and I was still alive, but yet there I am overanalyzing all these little things and just honestly putting a lot of pressure on myself for no reason. And I see this all the time with women now because I know it and I can call it out because I was that woman. And trust me, I still have my moments where I drift there, but I try to pull myself back as quickly as I can. But they don't trust themselves. They swing to the other extreme, right? And they'll say, I just trust God. But what they really mean is, I don't trust myself at all when they can't make a simple decision like that. So today, I just really want to bring it home for us and discuss my top 3 things that I want you to understand about confidence in yourself versus confidence in God and what we're really getting wrong when we do this, okay? So number 1 is you were never meant to choose between trusting God and trusting yourself. This is the biggest misconception that I see. Somewhere along the way, I don't know how, but women were taught, if they trust themselves, it equals pride. But if you doubt yourself and you think, oh, I'm not too sure, I don't know. That equals humility. But that's not actually true at all. Because you think about it, who created you? God did, right? He gave you your intuition, your wisdom, your ability to discern all of these things in your life. That didn't come out of the sky. It didn't come from nowhere. He gave you the gift of that. So when you're constantly overriding yourself and thinking, I just don't know, God, I'm not sure. I can't really make this big decision, so I'm going to wait on you, right? You're not being spiritual. You're just disconnecting from how God originally designed you to be. So you have to start seeing it differently. When you trust yourself, you're not replacing God. It's not like you're taking God out of the equation. It's really partnering with him and letting him walk alongside of you and asking, okay, what do I sense is right here? Right? What do I already know that I'm trying to ignore? Because God is not trying to confuse you. The enemy is the author of confusion, not God. So you have to remember that. And number 2, overthinking is not discernment. Women could get this so wrong sometimes, right? And this one might sting just a little bit to hear it, because a lot of women think they're really being wise when they overthink things. But they're actually just stuck in these overthinking loops that go on and on and on, like, the broken record that repeats in your head time and time again. You're replaying everything, you're analyzing everything, you're waiting on God. I know women that have been waiting on God, not for a month, not for a year, but for decades, hesitating to make a decision and calling it, I'm just trying to be sure. I'm just waiting on God. I haven't heard the answer yet. And yeah, there's something to that. I mean, yes, we want to go to him in prayer and ask, what do you want me to do in this situation? Or which path do you want me to take? Right. But there also comes a time and a place when, if you haven't heard the answer yet, good news is God is going to meet you wherever you go. When you come to a crossroads in your life and you have to pick a path, I heard that from someone one time. They said, the good news is, Lorianne, no matter which path you take, God is going to be there. And if you happen to take the wrong one, and it's more of a detour than the correct path, he's going to get you back on the right path as soon as possible. And that always stuck with me because it made me think, wow, okay, so I don't have to stay stuck in this over analytical loop that I get in my head, over analyzing things, waiting and waiting for my life to pass me by before I make a decision. Because I remember that, because I think, whatever path I take, even though it might be the wrong one, I know God's going to lead me back. And that's so comforting, right? Because here's the truth, overthinking is not discernment, which we like to call it that sometimes, but it's really your fear of making a mistake, doing the wrong thing again, going down that wrong path. And we're fearful. We don't want to do that, right? But discernment is really clear. It may not be easy, but it's grounded, right? It's that clear kind of feeling we get about something when we discern that that's the way to go. But overthinking feels like super noisy, super stressful. I get anxious, my head's spinning, usually get a headache. So you just want to ask yourself, am I really seeking clarity from this decision I'm trying to make, or am I avoiding it completely? I'm avoiding the decision. I don't even want to make it, right? Am I waiting on God, or am I really just too afraid to move? Because sometimes, the most faith-filled thing you can do is just make that decision, like I said, and trust that God will meet you there. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, you're taking a step. And yeah, you might be fearful when you take that step, but if you take that step with courage and you still might have a little fear, God is going to take care of the rest. He will meet you there. Number 3, confidence isn't about having all the answers. Sometimes we think we have to have all the answers. It's about trusting yourself to handle whatever comes. So when we make a decision, we have confidence that, okay, no matter if I make the right decision, if I make the wrong decision, it's about trusting yourself to be able to handle whatever happens from that decision because God has made you capable and He knows that whatever decision you make, He will be there for you and that He will give you the capacity to get through it. So a lot of women think confidence, just means this. I'm 100% sure that this is the right choice. No, that's not how it goes. Confidence actually looks like, even if this doesn't go perfectly, I'm going to handle it. I'm going to figure it out somehow. And that is really where your faith is going to come in, because confidence in yourself plus confidence in God equals, I love this equation, I can move forward and God will guide me as I go. I'll say that again, because confidence in yourself plus confidence in God equals I can move forward and God will guide me as I go. Not, I've got to get this perfect before I can even move. So I'm going to sit on the couch here for the next 10 years before I make a move, because that kind of pressure, that's what's going to keep you stuck. And that's not God's best for your life. So you have to start making all those small little decisions with trust, not perfection. None of us are perfect. We're not all going to get it right all the time, because where your confidence will really grow, your self-confidence really grows from making those little promises to yourself, the things you're going to do and following through with it. It's built through the action of doing, not the waiting. So all of these things are so important to remember when we're talking about, your self-confidence. And I just wanted to have a quick chat about that today because it was on my heart. As I stood in the grocery store aisle thinking, I don't spend as much time here anymore like I used to spend in the protein bar aisle. I just grab one of them and hope for the best and do what I can. And I think this is better than grabbing the bag of M&Ms, and it's okay. God still loves me. So if you're sitting there thinking, okay, I've been calling this faith, but it's actually fear and self-doubt. First of all, welcome to the club. You're in very good company because we've all been there. And second, you don't have to stay stuck in that. Inside the Midlife Comeback Club, which is my annual group coaching membership, this is exactly the work that we do every day. We help you rebuild your confidence. You'll learn how to trust yourself again without going and spiraling into these endless circles and overanalyzing every decision you try to make. You will stop overthinking everything. So you can actually move forward in your life with some peace. Wouldn't that be nice, right? Peace, not pressure. We all have enough pressure going on in our lives. So if you're ready to stop standing in the protein bar aisle like I used to do for the rest of your life, overanalyzing everything and trying to think, what is the best decision for me? I want you to come join us. It's such an amazing group of women in this community that we're building. And there's so many women's lives that have already been transformed by my 90-day program that we have inside there. We also have weekly live group coaching Q&A calls with me every single week, your certified Christian life coach. And we have just an amazing community of other women who are walking through life after divorce and healing as well, and developing their comeback and rebuilding their lives. And so it's so amazing to see all of that support and the community that we have inside of other women helping other women. And we're all in this movement together, which is amazing. So the link is in the show notes. Please go check it out. And today I just want to leave you with this. All right. Trusting God doesn't mean you stop trusting yourself. Please remember that. It means you stop trying to do life alone. That's what He wants. He wants you to walk with Him side by side, go through it together, because you were never meant to walk this out without your self-confidence. He gave it to you, and you were definitely not meant to stay stuck. So once again, I just appreciate you coming back here for every episode. I send out a new episode every Monday and Thursday of every week. And I just want you to have an awesome week. And I will see you back here for the next episode. If I don't see you beforehand in the Midlife Comeback Club, I'll see you here next week. Thanks so much. Hey girl, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if so, would you take 30 seconds and share it with a woman who might really need it right now? Also, please leave me a quick review over on Apple Podcasts. It truly helps this show reach more women who are ready for their divine comeback. And until next time, keep choosing faith over fear, and I will meet you back here next week for another episode.